Recording. Hey there, my name is Neal. Welcome to Virtual Natural Balance Masterclass. This masterclass is simultaneously virtual and physical. Physical as in, here I am, there you are. Wherever you're located, that's the physical aspect of this. And then the virtual aspect of this is the Zoom aspect. It's the aspect that is the internet. Neal's my name. Neal's not actually who I am. And so you might ask yourself, well, if who am I? Well, who I am is a multi-dimensional, infinite spiritual being that's expressing through a human body. I'm a child of God the Father, and I'm here as a representative of what infinite abundance looks like. And what does that look like? Well, what it looks like is coming from a grounded place. That's a grounded place that's a commitment. And in this commitment, I'm going to share a commitment that I'm standing on. That's the foundation. That's the ground that I'm operating from. And this commitment is listening and speaking from love. And from that foundation, it has an infinite source. It doesn't matter how much love I receive or how much love I give, there's always more to receive and always more to give. And so infinite abundance looks like coming from who I actually am and not from the perception of the identity of an egoic construct. Now, the egoic construct is inside of who I am, and who I am includes it, but it's not the totality of who I am. And so, what is Natural Balance Masterclass? Well, that's where you're at. Welcome. And Natural Balance Masterclass is a global movement expressing through the hearts and the minds of the people. That is a movement of authenticity, and it's a movement of the expression of who I am through you. And how's that possible? Well, it's possible because the truth is we're all one. We're all infinitely connected. And this I am that's in me is in you. And you and me only exist as constructs in language. In truth, you and me don't actually exist. There's just I am. In time, you and I exist. And in language, the words you and me exist. And in language, you and me exist. But in oneness, which includes language, but also transcends it, from that place, you and me don't actually exist. There's just completion. There's I amness. And natural balance is tapping into that I amness that's inside of you, coming from that. And when coming from that, there's infinite potential because that oneness is infinite connection. And so you're here, and Natural Balance Masterclass is an opportunity to practice being whole and complete, to practice letting go of the egoic construct, which consists of 4 components. There may be more components to the egoic construct, but these are the 4 that I'm going to shine a light on to illuminate what I'm calling the egoic identity construct. Number one is my truth. So, and this is what the ego uses to speak to another ego or to itself. The ego will say, my truth is yada, yada, yada. So that's number one. Number two is my opinion. The ego will say, well, my opinion is this. Number three is my experience. So the ego will say, my experience is yada, 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 whatever it'll say. And then the fourth component, what is it? It's my perception. The ego will say, well, my perception is yeah, whatever it'll say. And so these four components is what then we use my truth, my opinion, my experience, and my perception. We use those things to then create an identity, which usually we link with our name. And then before we create a distinction of that, sometimes we can be merged with it to the point where we don't have a distinction, that we're actually the observer observing the identity, and we're not actually it. And we can have that identity, but it's not the full truth of who we are. And so with that, I'm going to speak to how do I be here? How do I be in virtual natural balance masterclass? How do I engage? How do I speak? When is it appropriate to speak? When is it not appropriate to speak? So it is appropriate to speak. It is appropriate to communicate, and every communication, every expression is practice. And the practice here is letting go of the ego and coming from something. I've already stated where I'm coming from, and the invitation is to come from a place of being whole and complete. And that's clunky. And when you declare that you are complete, when you declare that you are whole and complete, incomplete people will literally attack, question the completion that you're stating that you are. So it's going to be clunky, and it's only clunky because we're calling it clunky. And so have it be as it is. Have the expression that is expressed be perfect. And if you want to share, you can raise your physical hand. If you're online, you can raise your virtual hand. You can also unmute yourself. Here in the physical, you can also grab a mic and just start talking. Please interrupt. I invite interruptions. An interruption, I don't believe in interruptions. I believe in synchronicities. And so what some people may call interruptions, I'm calling divine expression. And so please interrupt. If you feel called to share something, share it. And if you want to raise your hand, raise your hand. And if you just feel called to share something, just let it rip. And right now we're in a space of flow. And so I'm going to pause there. Who'd like to share?
I can feel my ego panicking. What have I come to? Why am I here? What am I going to reveal about myself that I don't even know is coming? All these spirals, head spins. but I'm grateful for the invitation to bring that here and explore it.
Do you want to share more, or is that complete? Okay. Yeah, when we shine a light on the ego, like well, all right, so I'll finish this. So if I shine a light on the ego either wants to actually literally be something that we're then observing, or if we're still merged with it, it can literally relocate our physical body, so that it's not being illuminated. And what you just did with speaking to what's actually going on inside of you, you're like, wow, this is like going on inside my body. Like you're like what, you spoke to, like, what am I doing here, or something like that. Like that, speaking to what's going on internally, has what's going on internally have less power over you, and you're now having power over it by vulnerably distinguishing something that's going on internally. Emma, welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't want to be here right now. When I came on and you started talking, I was like, fuck, why'd I do this? And I don't feel whole and complete at all right now. And I've been really angry today. And annoyed at everyone and everything. And also scared. So, yeah. Kinda in hell right now. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. What's your ego saying right now?
I was thinking about what I might like to share, and
Is this going to answer my question, or specifically, what's your ego saying?
what was going on in my head in the moment. I'm not sure it was ego or not. So
Let's find out.
Okay, so what I had was an observation. It was somewhat related to Emma, and it was somewhat related to her mama. Your mama talked about being very triggered at some violence that happened at the table yesterday. And I noticed myself when it was happening, and I was really grounded and centered and peaceful and not worried. And when your mother talked about it, I became conscious that I would not have been that way a while back. That literally what your mother experienced is exactly what I would have experienced, and I would have probably started sobbing at the table. So what I was sort of thinking of is, like, I've just noticed today, because there's been day after day of feeling like my ego, like I was in hell for a nice stretch of time, that geez, you've done all this work, you're this old, you're blah, 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 and I, why are you freaking miserable? This is, and I, partly it was because I felt like I wasn't 100% sure that there's God, and that if there is, God has any affection for me. And there was a couple of things that happened in the last couple of days that I love me, and I used to hate me. I mean, I'm talking like active abuse, 24/7, like literal mantras of you fucking cunt. I mean, that was the kind of thing I lived with in my head. And that will put you into a mental hospital, and that's exactly what happened. So I don't feel that way anymore. And even when I feel like I'm, an idiot or, all kinds of negative things, I love this idiot. I love this, fucked up person. I love this person who doesn't know if God loves her or not. And it dawned on me, with what am I loving myself? If there is no God, that's evidence to me that there's God. There's something in here loving me now that didn't used to exist, that I was not conscious of, So now that was one piece. And another piece last night, Bianca's been talking about just, I'm a piece of shit. God seems to love me, or God loves me, but I'm a piece of shit. And so I realized, okay, you're doing something of that. And there's this prayer called Ho'oponopono, if everybody's familiar with that. It's an ancient Hawaiian prayer, and it goes...
Can you just like walk
Wrap it
us
up?
through it? No, not wrap it
oh.
up, like walk us through the
The
Ho'oponopono.
Hawaiian prayer
Like
is...
if I've never heard it before, how do I do it?
This is something that really, really has had like miraculous effect on people, because it takes ownership of the entire universe out there, and it is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And you can do that in any order. Please forgive me, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, And I had some resistance to that a while back, but right now, I just like anything, if I'm struggling with a person, I say it to them, I say it to myself for enacting this nonsense, and I say it to God for believing things could be imperfect. So that's kind of my routine now when I do it. But I realized, I'm sorry, I just was doing it to God last night. I'm so sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And I was repenting for my blasphemous use of I am a piece of shit. It's like, that's blasphemy. If I am is the name of God, I'm not doing the right thing there. And so it was sweet to repent for abusing myself. I am not my creator, and it is not my business to be so arrogant that I can determine whether or not I'm a piece of shit. And so saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you to God over and over again for a little while was just grounding. And I noticed today I'm not in hell. So that's what was going on in my head. A little long story long.
Are you open to a question? Was that your ego, or was that love or God flowing through you?
Yeah, that felt definitely good. That was the good stuff. That was the top shelf. That does not feel like it was some toxicity from the dungeons, And I also had an awareness, like my kid was in a cage, and then I found out, okay, I got her out of the cage, but she's still like, fathoms deep in some kind of mine or something. I had not let her up, and I felt last night like she is now in the light of day, And it only took 65 years. Don't let that discourage you. Things have been changing for people.
Thank you. That was wow. I'm wowed. Really, genuinely, wholeheartedly, thank you. So you got a mic in your hand, David. Are you going to use it or hold it?
I'd like to address Emma. I'm just wondering what you feel it is that inspired you or had you take this action to come to the class and share. What's behind your share?
I think I'm just trying. Like, I've committed myself to be a vessel for God at some point, and um, yeah, I saw the message, and so I not much thought besides that. Just kind of trying to trust someone else because like I don't see like I am aware like I still know God is here right now, and people say like you're a gift, and I'm aware that they're probably right, but I'm I can't digest it right now, so I'm just moving in that direction.
Would you like to share some context for where you're at and what the block might be from perceiving yourself as you truly are?
Um, well, yesterday I shared how I realized that I've this whole time been thinking that I was hiding that like I'm a bad person. Um, so I'm just feeling that today. I feeling like my whole life believing that I'm just like fucking everyone else's life up somehow. Um, and yeah, I'm just kind of upset.
So why do you think you keep placing yourself in that role of being the quote unquote bad person in other people's lives?
To avoid responsibility, maybe, for being a gift.
So it feels safer to play that role as opposed to, see your greatness and take responsibility for it?
Yeah, yeah. It feels familiar, and it feels like, yeah, it feels familiar.
And what do you think is keeping you from going out of that comfort zone? What are you afraid of?
Being alone.
So you feel like the only way you can get attention is by being this bad person in other
Yeah,
people's lives? That you won't be loved, you won't be seen unless you act out in some way?
yeah. This is funny because I thought I was the victim the whole time. I didn't even, I don't know.
So is that what the recent realization was, that from another perspective you can see how you might have been the villain? And I'm sure you know that all of those are illusory: victim, villain, hero. Yeah.
They're real to the ego, illusionary in the truth.
So, is the truth what you're seeking?
Yes.
And do you have faith that in seeking it that you will find it?
Yes.
So it sounds to me like you're on the right path. And you just gotta keep that faith and have the courage and keep taking steps in that direction.
Yeah. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
You want to share more, or is that complete?
Feels complete for now. Yeah.
I got good and bad news for every single person here. You're already whole and complete. You're only creating the illusion. You're only pretending like you're not. In the pretending that we're not whole and complete, we can generate that to be so real that we surround ourselves with other people who we perceive as being not whole and complete, and we have them perceive us as not being whole and complete, and being whole and complete the whole time. Noel got it. So the bad news is you're already whole and complete. The good news is you're already whole and complete. And now my question to you is, what are you going to do now? What are you going to be now? Who'd like to share?
What I heard was that you said that we if it's kind of like I can see the end of my point, but not the beginning. But hanging out with people who we deem not complete, likewise with ourselves. So it's trying to drop the judgment. That would be the aim for me.
And then are you to drop judgment? Like, what's the fruit of that? Like, what's the if you have judgment, then you let the judgment go, like, what's the result internally or externally?
Seeing everyone is complete.
And then what?
Freedom.
All right. Do you want to share more? I feel like you want to share more.
I guess I'm enlivened, but there's no words to the enlivenment yet.
Nice. Thank you.
Max is whole and complete. That's the question, right?
Is it?
Is it?
Uh, that's a question. I don't know if it's the question.
I don't think it's a question on if you're whole and complete. because it's an illusion that you're not, right? So the real question is, what are you going to do about it when you realize that you're whole, complete, and perfect already? And that's the question I've been taking recently is what do I want to do? Like, I feel like there's nothing to be added to that, you know? So it's like, what actions do I need to take? And I think it's just actions taken from, not for anymore. You're no longer a whore, you're now whole. You're now doing things from your abundance, from your worthiness, from your peace, love, and joy. That isn't dependent on changing external circumstances. So I feel there's still a contribution to be made in the world, and you're still being called to be who God called you to be. But when you realize that, I feel like things get a lot more easy and lighthearted, and you're just more enjoying the journey instead of being combative with the present moment.
Is that done, or do you want to share more?
I'm whole and complete.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I have a question. So, are we whole or are we part wholes? And together we make the greater whole.
What do you think?
Well, I think we're part wholes, and I think that together we are whole. So the function of being together and exchanging meaningfully, giving each other reflection, is to see the part of the whole that we're not seeing in ourselves in order to be whole and see that we are. So the good news and the bad news, I don't really see it's cute, it's funny, but I think that on one of those sides, that's what's really like what we're meant to perceive, that we're not whole, so that we can actually step into our purpose, what we're meant to fulfill while we're here on earth. So that false perception is in some ways a gift in order to realize the true perception, through each other and with each other. So that's my take on it.
There's another person, can we get them in? Are you willing to re-ask your question? And then I've got to respond. I was kind of like, I felt like a deer in headlights when you initially answered it, or
Sure.
when you initially asked it.
Okay, yeah.
Which,
Yeah, the question was, are we whole or are we part wholes?
and now, after feeling into it and hearing your response, my answer is yes. It's an and world. We're both the whole picture and we're the piece simultaneously. One doesn't disclude the other. So I see this.
Great, yeah. So, and, not or.
David, that's whole with a W, not just an H,
Yes.
okay, at the beginning,
Yes. Yes.
right? Okay, good. Just happy.
I was just in a conversation over dinner with somebody that gave me a reflection about this, and she said that it's important to have other people around in order to see what's going on with us, because we can't see the thing we're in when we're in it. Like, it's literally part of our reality, so we can't see it. And she said that if you just have one person as a reflection in front of you, all you're able to see is the front side of you. But if you have a person reflecting you from this angle and from the angle behind you and from the angle next to you, that there's no part of you that can hide. And there's safety in that, because it means that there's no troubling part of you that can't be discovered and brought to the surface. But that's something that can only happen with people around you that care enough to see you from an outside perspective and to be honest with you in terms of what they actually see, which takes a lot of courage and a lot of vulnerability from both the one receiving the reflection and the one offering it. And so it's a crazy, courageous journey on both sides, but it's another way that we really do need each other, not only to be whole in the connectivity of it, but to become whole within, like a whole within ourselves.
Do you want to share more, or is that complete?
It's pretty much a complete thought.
What's your name?
My name is Deja.
Nice to meet you, Deja. I'm
I
Emma.
saw you on the Visionary program, and you seem like a beautiful soul.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you.
So there's an opportunity here. The opportunity is practice being whole and complete. Practice coming from something. Practice standing on something. Practice being on a firm foundation. Practice opening up your heart. Practice opening up your voice. Practice putting balance and cooperation and the energy of balance and cooperation into your words. Practice have something come through you that transcends you. Joseph, welcome.
Hi. So came in a little late because I was in breakthrough class and I was trying to post my notes, but it wouldn't let me post the last two pictures. But the reason I haven't spoken up is because like I'm just basking in the radiance, man. Like any before I even like, you know, like when David was asking about the question, by the time I could have given the answer, you already answered it. Like we're pieces of a puzzle, but we're also whole and complete. So I'm just I don't know, I'm feeling better and better all the time. And I can feel that I'm coming from a place of unleashing infinite abundance. That's my masterclass.
That's how we started this thing. Like I did like how do you unleash infinite abundance, Joseph?
Ooh, well, one way is I show up to every single earthquaking thing that I can, and just by the act of showing up and just committing to it fully, I just get sucked right in. Like just it's amazing because obviously I'm not with you guys in person, but in spirit I am in Earthquaking Village.
Yes, sir.
So I keep coming back for the community and because of just how awesome it is every time, and it just keeps getting better. And I know it's going to continue to keep getting better because that's where I'm at in my heart for all of us.
Uh, how what is if you were to name an identity that you're coming from, what's that identity?
And identity, well, Joseph means God will increase, so my name literally means abundance. So whenever I think about that, that always puts me back on my path. It helps me to see if I'm like doubting myself or if I'm like hesitating. I talked about last night, like there's certain seeds that God gives you, certain ideas that you're meant to act on. And when I'm coming from a place of scarcity or feeling incomplete or like I'm not enough, like the ego doesn't want me to act on them. It's like saying you're not ready. But whenever I stop resisting it and I do the thing, I just start to become more and more of what I'm meant to be. So it's kind of a natural progression, just always going upward.
So if you were to name that identity with one word, what would it be?
Abundance?
All right. So you're coming from abundance.
Yeah, I'm coming from Joseph in the state of abundance.
All
Or
right.
wait, you reminded me of something just now. So like years and years ago, I came up with the term Jotagonist, which is, how in a story you have the protagonist, the main character that moves the action forward. And in my life, I've spent most of my life getting ready to get ready. So my ideal has always been to be the Jotagonist, like I'm making my life happen and I'm bringing everyone else with me to it and in it. So yeah, when I feel like I'm in the state of abundance, I can call myself the Jotagonist and I can feel in alignment with it, like sincerely. So yeah, I'm the Jotagonist.
You got more, Joseph, or is that complete?
I mean, I could give more, but that feels complete.
So we've been and currently are in flow. So, well, what's flow? Well, flow is the infinite connection that is permeating everything. And flow is constant change. The only constant is change, and what's changing is transmutation of energy. Energy is what's changing. Everything is energy, and physical matter happens to be energy vibrating, so it appears dense and physical. Um, right now, in truth, the present moment is the only thing that exists. In time, we observe events and we think there's a past and a future. And when you come from something, you are where you are going. And so if you're coming from fear and the present moment is the only thing that exists, you're also going to fear. And if you're coming from love, you're also going to love, but you're not even going there. It's because you're present with it, that is what is. And if you're coming from abundance, that's where you're going. And yeah, do you want to share, Cole?
Yeah, I mean, I resonate with everything you're saying right now. And in a time, there is no eternity. In eternity, there is no time, basically. Like, there's no present moment in time, right? And then there's no time in the present moment. So it's kind of like one or the other, right? That's how I see it. I don't know.
I actually like that comment, and not in such a literal sense that like eternity doesn't exist when we're in time, but we really like in the way that we experience it. Like there's moments that we experience like timeless moments, and it's like in those moments, like it's like time ceases to exist, and then there's time when you're in time when all you want is like something bigger, and you're just stuck in this small little moment where you feel so powerless. It's like remembering that just because those are the things we experience now doesn't mean the other side doesn't exist out there, and that it's part of the experience to feel the smallness of time, even though eternity is still there. Yeah, it's interesting.
Amazing. Thank you. Do you want to share more, or is that complete for you?
I feel complete.
Okay. We're now entering a space that is illusionary, because space is itself illusionary. The only thing is actually fullness and infinite connection. So where we're entering into is now more of a structured way of operating in this where we're at. And what this looks like is giving and receiving offers, giving and receiving a gift. And this gift, have this gift be something that's on purpose. That's literally your God-given purpose of why you're here. And this doesn't need to be your ultimate God-given purpose. It can be a step on the way to your God purpose. And that step is purpose because it's getting you to your greater purpose. And natural balance is when we're centered, and when we're aligned spiritually, emotionally, and physically. It's when we're totally aligned and on purpose, fully lit up, radiant, and we actually have an idea of why we're sharing what we're sharing. So have this offer be an offer that's on purpose, that is coming from the foundation that you're standing on. And the foundation that I'm standing on is a foundation of love, and the foundation where I'm coming from and the commitment that I'm coming from is a commitment to love and from love, as love. And that might not be your commitment. That might not be your foundation. But whatever your foundation is, stand on that. Stand on it firmly and come from that. And I invite you to open up your heart, open up your voice, and have this expression be something that if another person were to receive what you offered, like they're going to have an entirely new perception of what's available. Like, what? Like, this is possible? Like, this is available? This is something that somebody's offering and I may actually receive this? Like, or what? So have it be a gift, have it be a contribution, and that isn't always what we think it is. And oftentimes what our ego thinks is irrelevant is, in sharing it, the greatest gift and contribution to another person, to be that reflection, to see what we weren't able to see. And so feel into if you have an offer. Feel into if you want to make an offer right now so that people here can receive it. And even people, this is recorded, so then there'll be other people watching this replay which also have an opportunity to receive the gift, to receive the offer that you share right now. And I'm going to start. And so here's my offer. I'm going to share two offers. Here's my first offer. So Natural Balance Virtual Masterclass is happening every Wednesday at 5:30 Central Standard Time, and it's where you're at. And you're invited to come join and be here and interact and engage. And that's my offer. Number one. All right. If you're physically in Costa Rica, you can reach out and potentially actually physically attend this event. Otherwise, if you're in another location, this is available virtually via Zoom. And now, here's my second offer. This second offer is for physical, in-person only. And like, this is also specifically for two people, and these two people are leaders and event facilitators. And are you a leader or an event facilitator that you've been like on the path of transformation, but you've like reached a plateau, like you've been growing, but it just feels like there's like now like a levelness, and you're aware that there's more, but you're not entirely sure how to level up, how to go to that next step of growth and contribution. Well, if that's you, I'm inviting you to physical up-level ceremony. And up-level ceremony is a 7-day event, and it's held here live in Costa Rica. And the location is on Earthquake and Grace 2 property. And this is in the first 5 days of this event, we're doing a food fast. And during this food fast, we're in silence, and this is a group of us, and I have a maximum number of people that have like a maximum number of slots available, and that number is I have room for 30 people. That actually isn't even valid anymore at this point. I think I now have room for like 26 people. So if you're wanting to be here, be sure and connect soon, because there is limited availability. And so in the first 5 days, we're not eating, we're in silence, and included is 6 hours of meditation per day. And this meditation is split into 2-hour windows with some light body movement in between the meditations to assist with the physical attribute, just to aliven the body, as well as assist with the meditations. And the minimum donation is $333, and that'll secure your slot. Now you'll need to take care of travel arrangements and how to get there, how to get here. And so you're invited, and the date of the up-level ceremony, the start date is December 27th, 2024, and the end date is January 2nd, 2025. And so we're 5 days in silence, 5 days no food, and then going into 2025, literally cleaned out internally, like literally, like your intestines clean out. Food is information, so when we don't take in food information, we have capacity to tap into another source. And then coming out of this fast on January 1st, 2025, on day number 6, we're breaking the fast with organic vegetables and fruits, like kale, like bok choy, like papaya, watermelon, mangoes, and what I promise is a radiance in your body, a radiance in your spirit and in your soul going into 2025. And I'm going to put all this information in the chat. If you want to be part of this, make your donation first. So I have a donation link. Make your donation with a credit or debit card. And then after you've done that, email me specifically the words natural balance. And so it's a minimum donation of $333. Now, what I'm about to say is going to be relevant and important with every single person's offer going after this. It's a minimum donation specifically. Why is that? Because you can donate more. If you want to see this message of natural balance being promoted, if you want to see growth occurring in people, if you want to see people being and stepping into the contribution that they are, you can donate more. And if you donate $100 more, you'll receive a one-on-one, 1-hour phone call with me personally. And then every $50 after the additional $100 will be one single tree planted for you in your name. And so That's my offer, and that's complete. All this information is going to be in the description of the YouTube video that this will then be, and then you'll have access to this and the offers presented. So that's complete. Now I see 2 hands up. Joseph, you've given an offer multiple times. I'm going to pause on you. Emma, you're up. Welcome. Feel into your heart, feel into your offer, and let it rip.
I don't like that you picked me first. I raised my hand because I want to move towards the gift that I am, but I didn't actually have anything to say. But I have felt extra separation from my heart, so
So we're specifically in the space of giving an offer. Do you have an offer you want to give, or?
my offer was to use my voice to share my heart, and
All right, so that's like the what. So then, do you have like a master class or something, or like how does somebody receive your offer? Do you want to do like a?
is is
Go
like
for it. If you got something.
is like coaching me an offer,
All right.
or praying for me. Is that
That's an offer. Typically, an offer has a donation amount. Do you have a donation link so somebody could pray for you and contribute to you?
um, yeah, I have a donation link, I think.
All right. So if you want to hear more of Emma's voice and hear that expressed in the world, and contribute financially, you can contribute via Emma's donation link.
I
And
think I was
go for it.
I think yeah, I misunderstood this a little bit, but
What you're experiencing is what I'm going to call clunky, which what I distinguished earlier is only called clunky in language, and it's also perfect. And so, can you put your link in the chat?
yes.
Amazing. And then is that complete with your offer?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Cole, you're up.
I just wanted to offer everybody a hit of a grace joint. It's free, and if you're watching this live or online, you can join me right now in receiving this offer. And it's once in a lifetime offer. It's really priceless, honestly. The beginning for free is the deal of a lifetime. So
How do I receive it?
You just get your fingers like this, and you put them up to your mouth and take the biggest inhale you've ever taken in your life. And you hold it. You hold it as long as you can. And then you can exhale when you want. So,
Do you have a donation link? So if people want to see more of Cole being promoted in the world, they can
yeah,
donate
if you got some like value out of what I just offered, I'll throw my donation link in the description, and you can donate to me. And
Amazing. Do you have a minimum donation amount, or is it just
no,
any
just
amount?
anything you feel
All right.
called is a free offer. But if you feel called, go ahead and donate. The proceeds will be going to build the new earth, God's kingdom on earth, as it is in heaven. So that's what it's going to be used for. So thank you.
Amazing. Joseph, you're up.
Hey, uh, would you like me to give my complete offer as it now stands, or the Cliff Notes version?
I heard your words, but I didn't hear what you said.
I asked, would you like me to give my complete offer as it stands so far, or just the Cliff Notes version?
Well, however you share it, have it be complete so that if somebody were to want to receive it, that can be so.
Okay. Ready? Well, I'll be brief then, as brief as I can be, and just stop me if it gets too long-winded. So, offer, are you tired of dragging yourself hopelessly along through life, slowly dying inside while your music is still inside you, searching for that special something to make me want to live again? If so, then come to the free Unleashing Infinite Abundance Masterclass, where you will stop drowning in depression, anxiety, loneliness, and procrastination, and start living the life you're meant to live, the life of your dreams. At the end, you will have an opportunity to join the Unleashing Infinite Abundance Mastermind for $197 or 3 payments of $77, where we support each other in living that life on purpose that fills us with glee every day as we soar along our path. So my masterclass is happening Saturday, October 12th, 2024, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. The main event will conclude at 7 o'clock, but I'm happy to remain on the call until we're all complete. So whatever happens after 7 is just a cup overflowing. And the next section is 7 ways to unleash infinite abundance. To become a founding investor in this masterclass, for a minimum donation of $555, you will have lifetime VIP access to me whenever you need me as a dedicated member of your A team. Someday, when people are investing $50,000 to spend an hour on the phone with me, you will have me for free for being one of the first 12 to believe in me and invest in my vision. God told me to only offer this to the first 12 people who bet on themselves and believe in me with this offer. So once those spots are filled, I will either never be offering this again, or I will have to ask for a lot more money from the next set of 12 or so people the next time I do it. If you're struggling with time management, regardless of where you are in your journey, I have discovered tools that can be of great help to you. So for a minimum donation of $55, I can get on a half hour to an hour Zoom call with you and share my schedule method with you and assist you afterwards with implementation in your life, as well as accountability to make sure that you are benefiting from the tool and the technique. We don't have to use an hour all at once. This can be broken up over multiple sessions. And my aim is to help you achieve a specific outcome or outcomes in your life. So whatever I share will be in service of that. And at this point in my life, starting from a point of $0, even $5 would make a world of difference for me. So in exchange for my gratefully receiving $5, I will give you a heartfelt compliment to be delivered in the reasonable manner of your choosing, My preferred method personally would be either to record a video in a moment and send it to you, or to write it out and send it, and also record a video of me saying it and sending that as well. If you're unwilling to A, receive a heartfelt compliment, or B, circulate $5, maybe go away and work on yourself within yourself for a bit to find where the resistance is and release it, and then return when you're ready. Next offer is an unconditional giving offer. If you're financially abundant and wish to bless me,
All right, Joseph. Can I pause? To distinguish for clarity, for me personally, this is now your third offer. Yes.
let's see. Yes.
Amazing. Let it rip.
Okay. Yeah. Out of 7. This is number 4 out of 7, I think. Unconditional giving offer. If you're financially abundant and wish to bless me abundantly just for being me, if and only if unconditional love wills that you should do it. So, not from a place of trying to help me or be my hero, you can donate $10,000 to immediately complete my 7-day meditation manifestation challenge that I'm doing. I know what more to offer here now. When I first wrote this, I wasn't sure what to offer. So if you purchase this option, I am committed to replicating with you my entire process up to the point of purchase. So whatever fruits I've experienced, I would love for you to experience as well. So anything that I know, anything that I've learned, I'll teach it to you and I'll help you get the result. If $10,000 is too much, but $555 is too little, for $5,555, I will give you access to my own personal journal entries going forward, as well as my angel numbers collage, a lifetime project with many, many entries already to date. It is certainly an abundance of information and resources, and an abundance of massive action that I have taken relative to them. I will also include the copious notes I have taken while doing this work, which may prove quite helpful because I am a very studious pupil and note taker. You may use these to replicate my process in whatever timing and manner is comfortable for you. If you invest this, then I know that you, like me, do not take this work lightly and are willing to dive into it with a heart. And finally, I have set a ridiculously ambitious 3-year goal to have made $100 billion from doing my Father's work on earth. If you are moved and inspired to do so from a place of unleashing infinite abundance in accordance with the will of unconditional love, you may donate $55,555. I calculated that if I am indeed worth $100 billion, then I should ask for at least $50,000 for an hour of my time to remain in alignment with that financial state. It certainly does not mean that I will always do so, however. It isn't really about me at all. I fully surrendered my life to Jesus Christ, and so in order to honor my name, I can no longer be unwilling to receive the blessing of abundance that is my birthright and namesake. For this offer, I am committed to lifetime standing access to the replication of my entire process, not only thus far, but going forward indefinitely as well. Whatever fruits I have experienced, am experiencing, and shall experience, I would love for you to taste of them as well. Namaste.
Amazing. Can you put all your information in the chat?
Yes.
Deja, do you have an offer? You had the mic. Like I felt like you. Is that worth not sharing your offer?
Well, I have an offer, but I don't have any kind of channels set up yet for receiving donations or anything. But I have written 3 books, and I'm excited for anybody to read them who would like to. The first one is called Perfectly Flawed, and it's about seeing the perfection in the mess that comes out of our life when we live in the truth, and being in acceptance of the mess and looking for what is the lesson that I can learn from this in order to make myself more whole and more elevated moving forward. And so that's the first book. It's complete if anybody would like to read it. The second book is called Self-Reflection, and it's all about exploring introspection and understanding how to look inside of yourself and what to look for and what are mechanisms going on inside of us. So that's the second book. And the third book is called The Money Myth. And this goes all about realizing that there's a paradigm of monetization that has that is a massive part of our culture, and that there's a reverse perspective. In my book, I call it vitalization, in terms of an alternative to a monetization paradigm. And so if any of those three books sound interesting to anybody, feel free to reach out to me in the chat, and I can connect you with the book, and I can set up a way to receive donations if anybody would like to make that exchange.
What's the best way so if people reach out to you, you send them the book, yes?
Yeah, I'll send it in PDF form. It's not published yet.
And so what's the best way for people to reach out to you?
I'm not sure if the people on the Zoom side are connected through any signal chat. I don't know how all the connection works
just
yet.
speak to your best way for people to reach
okay.
you, and then they can navigate whatever they need to navigate.
Okay, I have an email address, zootopianpioneer@gmail.com, and the zoo is spelled XU. Zootopian, XU, pioneer@gmail.com. And if you reach out there, then we can exchange from there.
Amazing. Thank you.
I'm gonna go put some pants on because there are bugs here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do you have an offer, David? Max? Joseph, your hand's still up. Do you have another offer, or is it up for another reason?
Oh, it was still up, but I was gonna say I have a website that I posted. I don't really have like a landing page yet, so if you want to take my offer and you make a donation, just send me an email, so I'll have your name and your email.
Amazing. Frank, do you got an offer you wanna? Frank just disappeared. All right, that works too. We're over time by let's see, going on 14 minutes, and so if you're still here, thank you. Thank you for your offers. Thank you for your heart. You're worth it. And with that, this concludes this evening. And I love you because I love me. And David says we're a happy family, and I do agree with that. And we're all one. I'm whole and complete. That's how I'm seeing you. And what now? Peace.